the agent of the PDP, that you will talk about the display of the polling unit level result, because you don't have copies of the polling unit level results. It's at that point that it ought to have been done. And based on the result that we have received, we believe that that has been done. So I will still call on the scope to respond to the issue raised by the agent of the People's Redemption Party.
Thank you, sir.
I would really like a situation where we make this a collation of results rather than dragging us back on matters at collation level. In my opening statement yesterday, I said that these results are collated at 4 stages. Apart from the polling unit level, where they were counted and recorded, there was ward level collation, parties had agents. It went to local government collation, parties had agents. State collation, parties had agents. And at that point, they had all the little pieces of paper that we are talking about to compare. But let's listen to the scope. I will still come back to you. No, just a minute, if you may. Just a minute. Let's make this a procedure that we all should, the rec, the scope for Kwara, respond to that question, and then we'll come back to the issue.
Thank you, sir.
Let the scope respond. I will still come back to you. Scope.
Thank you, sir. Regarding the comments by the PRP agent, I have mentioned earlier that there were some cancelled votes in some of the polling units, and this might be attributed to the difference. Thank you, sir.
Okay. The agent of the PRP, PDP, can you please repeat what you said on the basis of the provision of the law?
What I just want to quickly react to the presentation by the chairman on we are in this country statements. When uploads were not done, you even said there was no hacking of your server and all that. And everyone sitting there is either a Christian or a Muslim. And you know there was problem with uploading your results. Till this minute I'm speaking, many results have not been uploaded on your server. So you cannot be using justification that votes took place at the polling units when INEC failed in uploading results from polling units. If you had uploaded those results immediately after vote was casted in each polling unit, we will have access to them and I will not be asking questions here. But as I speak to you, those results were not uploaded for hours. Yesterday, I complained to you, the chairman. I complained to 2 other commissioners, and in my presence, they called the director of ICT was saying they should use offline to upload. So if results were not uploaded, it cannot be challenged that the process is over. The process is not over because it is faulty. Results were not uploaded, and if those results were not uploaded, we are definitely going to contest the authenticity of whatever presentation is being made here. And finally, sir, I want to challenge any returning officer from any state coming here, because there's penalty for you if you lie or if you that what you are presenting is what is uploaded on INEC website. Please say that and see if you have given wrong information, you will not go to jail.
Okay. Is there any agent of any party that hasn't spoken? Party agent? No, not you. Your party has spoken. Let's give the opportunity to another person. You have also spoken, PRP. Please take your seat. Let's make this orderly in a and only man.
Mr. Chairman, I'm Chinemelu Uba. I represent APP, PDP agent. If we take your submission, Chairman, it may seem what we are here for is mere formality, as if all has been done at the level of the ward, local government, and state. Mr. Chairman, if there is difficulty in why what he's saying cannot be done, you are asking for here as the final collation center, either to correct what has been done wrongly. We've had complaints from the ward, from the local government, from agents there. If we can upload this year, we serve as a final arbiter, so to say. Thank you, sir.
Okay. If you have any complaints, any documents that you may have, please forward them. But otherwise, we cannot be considering the report from Kwara and talking about matters arising from another state. When we come to that state, we will talk about matters arising from that state. Which party is that, Alex?
Alex,
Go ahead.
ADP.
Yes.
I stand before you and the entire world to support what? Because before now, Nigerians have waited, with abated palpitation for authenticity of this project. To institution or the education we had before now is that whatever vote is cast is transmitted upon that time. That is the education we had. But we are now in other phrases like beavers, boycott, or whatever language is used for it. So we needed the party, the collation officer from the same to trust transmitted. Secondly, sir, I have read and I've seen that even at the point of election, some personalities in this country showed their ballot paper for the party they voted for.
Representative of the ADP.
Yes, sir.
That is not before us.
Yes, I know, but I'm proactively speaking, sir.
Please, let us focus on what is before us.
Yes, but
the result for the election from Kwara.
I know, sir.
This is unending.
Allow me to learn, sir. Allow me to learn. The entire system. And if it's the entire system, if somebody shows the party he voted for, that also can be taken as vote buying. And so we have to take care of that, sir.
I wish we can confine ourselves to what is before us, consideration of the report from Kwara.
All right, sir.
What transpired.
In summary, I support the move.
All this while, just to support. Okay. The second agent.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Emeka Ihedior. Mr. Chairman, I am one of the Nigerians that have absolute confidence in this electoral process. Mr. Chairman, when there were efforts to undermine the authority of INEC, we stood firmly that INEC must be truly independent. Mr. Chairman, we're talking about the transparency of this process. And we're talking about confidence in the process. I had cause, sir, to engage you yesterday. I had cause to speak to your national commissioners yesterday about collation and abuse of the electoral process. Mr. Chairman, as we speak, in a number of states, efforts are still ongoing to undermine that process. Result sheet, Mr. Chairman.
I wish you can just confine yourself.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman.
What has been presented.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Mr. Chairman,
about what is not before us. This discussion will be an ending.
No,
we are not here for an ending discussion.
Sir, the point I'm making,
collation of results.
Mr. Chairman, please, that to where we are. And we are saying it is important that we know, that Nigerians are aware, that electors know that the votes they've cast were properly uploaded and it reflects the wishes of the people from polling units. Mr. Chairman, fundamentally, it is clear to us that in the course of collation officers and return officers were forced by people who think they're more powerful to return results. And Mr. Chairman, it's important that that is addressed. Where people...
Excuse me, the former Deputy Speaker of the Federal Republic, please speak to what you can present evidence for, not to stand at the National Coalition to be making insinuations. Please, Emeka Ihedia, please.
I'll take my seat, Mr. Chairman.
Please.
My point has been made. Thank you, Mr.
Please
Chairman.
resume. The results presented by the Quara, apart from these general issues. Okay. Scope, Quara, and Rec, please present your report. Thank you.
You have not addressed our
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Collation Secretariat, any more? Thank you, Quara.
If a collation officer will not come up and tell us that what is uploaded is you don't want to show us, you don't want him to tell us, one of the two must happen. We are Nigerians who will defend our rights. This election, we will serve. If there is a return officer telling us that what is uploaded is what is presented, and if that is a lie, you will meet in the court of law.
Okay, thank you very much. Next state.
No, we cannot have another state, sir. We cannot have another state.
You are now being
We cannot have, sir.
you are now being disruptive.
I am not disrupting. The
No.
Electoral Act says that what is uploaded
You are
is
now being
uploaded.
disruptive.
You can go through me out, but the right must be done. I'm a party agent.
You are
That is
now
what the
you are
Constitution
now
says.
being disruptive of the
I am
process.
not being disruptive. I'm asking
Okay.
what is uploaded is
Next, scope please. After the presentation, then we'll come.
saying that let him declare that what is uploaded is what he's going to present. At least let him make that statement.
Okay. Scope Quara, sorry, Oshun and Derek, please make your presentation.
Thank you.
Sorry, Quara. Quara has done his own. Oshun say,
My name is Dr. Mutiu Olaleke, Grand Commissioner, INEC, Osun State. My scope is here.
My name is Professor Collation, the Vice Chancellor
agent
of the
the
University
PDP,
of
please
Lagos.
resume your seat.
Mr. Chairman, address
You are now deliberately disruptive.
I'm defending my vote.
Okay.
And I'm allowed by law to do that.
Red Kwara, please make your Oshun, introduce yourself and let the scope for Oshun make her presentation.
I am Dr. Mutiu Olaleke Agboke. I am the resident electoral commissioner, INEC, Osun State. My scope is also here.
Okay, thank you. Scope.
I am Professor Folashade Ogunshola, the Vice Chancellor of the University of Lagos. I was the scope for Osun State for the presidential election. The results for the presidential election held on the 25th February 2023 in Osun State. We had the total number of registered voters, 1,954,800. The total number of accredited voters was 759,362. The total number of votes received by the presidential candidates of each of the political parties is as follows. Party A, 1,006. 1,006. Party AA, 129. 129. Party AAC, 402. 402. Party ADC, 3,988. 3,988. Party ADP, 1519. 1,519. APC, 343,945. 343,945. APGA, 613. 613. APM, 291. 291. APP, 149. 149. BP, 206. 206. LP, 23,283. 23,283. NNPP, 713. 713. NRM, 623. 623. PDP, 354,366. 354,366. PRP, 277. PRP, 277. SDP, 225. SDP, 225. YPP, 347. YPP, 347. ZLP, 1121. 1121. The total valid votes, 733,203. 733,203. Rejected votes, 23,541. 23,541. The total votes cast, 756,744. 756,744. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Scope, any comments? Yes, I can see a hand from a distance.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Ina Okopi Ago, the party agent for African Action Congress. I'd like to have a situation where, and I'm hoping you're going to do this, if any scope is coming here to present, I think you should instruct them to first tell us that the results they are presenting had already been uploaded. It's a simple thing. If you can tell them to tell us this, it makes it easy for everybody, and we won't have this rancor we're having here.
Noted.
Thank you very much.
Yes, I can see a hand there.
Sir, we made an observation, and you assure us that you gave us 30 minutes to look at the result and then come up with
Did I assure you that I'll give you 30 minutes?
10 minutes, 10 minutes.
Did I assure you I will give you 10 minutes? So
well, whether there is assurance or no assurance, you say we should do it. And now I have done mine. And I come out in Kwara, there is an overvoting of 7,330.
Sorry.
That is why we say it. It is very important. Sorry, sir. It is very important. We just don't read. The result was read, was presented at polling unit, and it came to the collation center, at the collation center in the World Collation Center. It came to local government collation center, at the state collection center, and we're receiving the same treatment. Then when we came here for final approval or presentation of the result, and then we also be treated the same way. Sir, it's not acceptable.
Okay. Any specific comments on the result presented? We will then take the next state, and I think there is no other state immediately available. We will have an interlude. During the interlude, you can interrogate the results, and when we come back after the interlude, we'll talk about your observations on the results presented. Meanwhile, on the specific question whether these results are the same result that emanated from the polling units, which is critical, let the scope and or the rec speak to that. But what I've seen is that these results are endorsed by all the agents of all the political parties at different levels. Okay, the scope or the rec, they are the same result that emanated from the polling units as collated.
Of course.
Thank you.
Exactly.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you very much, Dino. I wish you can resume your seat. I've listened to you. Any specific question? No. Apart from that, any specific question on what has been presented? Any specific question? Who hasn't spoken before? PRP has spoken. There is a gentleman in front of the agent of the PRP. Yes, the one in black.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Mohammed. I'm the agent for NRM. Mr. Chairman, my advice is before the state coalition agents should come here, they should verify their figures very well. Because we are sitting here in front of the whole Nigerians, the whole world. These figures should be looked into. That is my suggestion. Thank you very much, Mr.
Thank
Chairman.
you very much. We'll always do so, verify and cross-check figures. As the gentleman in white.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Sule Mohammed. I'm the party agent for PRP. What I want to inquire is, what is the position of law on this issue of uploading of results?
The law does not require that collation should be done on the basis of results transmitted. It's on the basis of results carried forward manually and physically to the various collation centers. But while there are discrepancies, then it is the transmitted result that it should be used to resolve the discrepancies. But where do these discrepancies arise? Discrepancies arise at the level of polling, after a polling unit collation at ward level. So, any specific question, any further specific question? We can't be going back and forth on this matter. We'll come back to it.
My second question,
we can't
Mr.
be
Chairman.
going back and forth. Okay, second question.
Yes, sir.
PRP.
Yes. Yesterday, at the course of the beginning of your statement, you said you will have on the side Collation Secretariat. And I assume this Collation Secretariat is supposed to interrogate whatever results the scope and the regs are bringing. It's advisable, like NRM indicated, that this thing should be interrogated and checked and cross-checked so that we do not have this embarrassing situation of people claiming that there is overvoting, there is undervoting whatsoever. Just my own piece of advice.
Thank you. We have noted the claims, and I'm happy you said the claims. Any specific issue on the result? Okay. We still have Ondo. We'll take Ondo, and I don't think there's any other scope around at the moment. Then there will be an interlude. Is there any issue with the figures you have presented that you would like to use the Collation Secretariat to cross-check?
No, as we arrive, everything has been cross-checked, and we are good.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. But are there places where election did not hold or results cancelled?
There were
reasons?
There was nowhere elections didn't hold, but there were some cancelled results.
Okay.
Yes.
And what are they, and what are the reasons for the cancellation?
Overvoting. And this came from the polling units.
Okay. Thank you very much. Please submit your report. Okay, Collation Secretariat, which state is next? Collation Secretariat, which state is next? I will come back to you. Please take your seat. Please. I noted your observations. We'll come back to these observations. Next state is, I think, Ondo. Is the red Ondo around and the scope? Okay, the rec and the scope and the admin sec in the absence of the resident electoral commissioner. Admin Sec, introduce yourself and let the scope introduce himself and make your presentation for Ondo State.
Honorable Chairman, my name is Oyekola Oyelami, the Administrative Secretary, INEC, Ondo State. My name is Professor Fashino Abayami Sunday, the Vice Chancellor of Federal University of Ekiti. Honorable Chairman, can I go ahead, sir?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Well, we have 18 local governments in Ondo State. Presentation go thus. The number of registered voters, 1,991,344. 1,991,344. Number of accredited voters, 571,402. 571,402. For the parties, Party A, 414. 414. Party AA, 196. 196. Party AAC, 890. 890. Party ADC, 5612. 5612. Party ADP, 1266. 1266. Party APC, 369924. 369924. Party APGA, APGA, 1206. 1206. Party APM, 319. 319. Party APP, 235. 235. Party BP, 200. 200. Party LP, 47350. 47350. Party NNPP, 930. 930. Party NRM, 347. 347. Party PDP, 115463. 115,463. Party PRP, 240. 240. Party SDP, 1293. 1293. Party YPP, 340. 340. Party ZLP, 4783. 4783. Total valid votes, 551008. 551008. Number of rejected votes, 19,009. 19009. Total vote cast, 570017. 570017.
Okay, thank you very much, Scope. Were there places where election did not hold or results cancelled?
Yeah, in 4 local government area with RA, 8 RA, with 11 polling units and registered voters of 5363 and PVC of collected 3156. We have cases of overvoting in this.
Sorry, go over the figures carefully. 4 local governments.
Yes, sir.
How many RAs?
8.
8 RAs. How many PUs affected?
11.
Number of registered voters?
5363.
And PVCs collected?
3156.
3156. And what were the reasons for the cancellation?
Overvoting.
Overvoting. And are these recorded in detail in the EC40G?
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. Comments? Okay, please submit your results. Collation Secretariat, do we have any scope around? Not yet. Collation Secretariat? Okay. At this point, we'll take a short break and resume in the next 1 hour, hoping that some additional scope would have arrived. Thank you.
We are insisting that rest was announced. If that is not done, we will not be here and allow this process to continue right thing is not done. We will not allow it. We will not allow it.
It's very unfortunate that party agents will not contribute to what happened in various states. We are here just to consolidate or to support the evil or the iniquity. That is the thing. Since we have not talked, and we are still listening to it.
Please, party agents, come with me, please. 1 minute.
You don't trust your process. The process was right. Protect it.
Check T. Check T. Check T. Check T. T1 T. Check. Check 1 T. Yeah. Check T.
What is going on? Looking at the results so far.
Well,
did you observe any form of, surprise? Apart from that of Lagos?
Well, no, I'm not really surprised with this result, all from the Southwest. So I'm not really surprised.
It was well anticipated.
Yes, it was
let's talk about Dino's issue. His argument, do you think, is lacking on merit or has merit?
It has merit.
It has merit. So why is it that others are not up?
Yeah, maybe they don't have the will as Dino has, or maybe they just feel relaxed that their party is not going anywhere, or I don't really know why.
From all indications, we are going to experience torrents of litigation after this exercise.
Yes,
it's boldly written.
Yes, it's boldly written. It's really
even
now.
Mr. President has tactically shot APC on its legs by brandishing his voters, whatever, showing the world the person that he voted for, and he later announced it that he broke the law. Look at it.
He later announced it.
Yeah, he said that he broke the law in order to show his loyalty to Tinubu. Now the question is loyalty to Tinubu more important than the law? I think we are both, we are both reasoning the same way. You can imagine, and this is like is an extension of that impunity we are talking about. That a whole president, the chief law enforcement officer in the country, is telling the whole world that he deliberately decided to break the law so that in order to prove to the world or to demonstrate his loyalty to the APC presidential candidate. That's quite pathetic, and maybe future generations will later study such a might in the school. Maybe that's as government students or civic education students or maybe political science students, undergraduates.
And then moving back to what Dino was talking about, why is he being ignored? Like why is his request not being attended to?
you know, there is a way they are going about it from their body language. They believe that they want to just follow the process and get the whole get it dispensed. Then if you are aggrieved, you follow the other route, which is what? Approaching a tribunal. From tribunal, if you are not satisfied, you go to the Court of Appeal. Then, you know, it ends at Court of Appeal for Senate, House of Reps, and everything. But for presidency and the governorship, it runs straight to the Apex Court, which is the Supreme Court. So, but one thing, one principle, one illegal principle that I've seen that has never helped this country politically is this belief that in every electoral contest, ensure that you are declared the winner, let your opponent go to the court. It has never, we should look for a way to dispensing every issue surrounding our election before inauguration.
Yes.
Because it's not, morally it's not right, legally it's not equally right that you are enjoying what you did not merit.
Yes.
You don't, so meaning that I can as well, you know, and when you represent the people who did not elect you, you have robbed the entire, you know, constituency.
Yes.
That's what it means.
Yes.
And I don't think we should continue in this direction. So it's very bad, and we have no other group to call than INEC. INEC is the statutory, you know, body entrusted to do all this, and I believe Dino should be listened to.
Yes, it should be listened to.
This is not listening to him is like deliberately postponing the vote day. Yes, because if not now, if he's not listened to now, maybe he will see the PDP as a party may seek a legal disgrace, redress, and at that point, if the election is nullified, of what use will this rush, you know, be to the entire country? You know, I've never been a party to all this seeking redress in the court. Rather, the best thing, the right thing should be done at the rudimentary stage, so that we don't get ourselves overburdened with jumping in and out of the court. I don't think it's the best.
Which most times doesn't really yield.
Of course, and even if it's going to yield any useful result, when the matter is in court, it distracts the public office holder.
Yes, it does.
Yes, it distracts either psychologically or, like now, let's take for instance the Ekiti, Osun State. The man will be working with a divided mind.
Yes.
Who know whether if I come up to this policy, it will last for the next 2 years. The program will last for the next 2 years. But who knows if I will be here in next 2 years, because the matter is now on appeal, and the appeal court has minimum, you know, maximum of 60 days to dispense.
Yes.
Yes, and after that, if it's not, you know, whoever that is affected may decide to approach the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court has about 30 days to equally do that. So between now until the matter is laid to rest, the man may not work with his full mind. So I don't think this approach is helping anybody. Well, let's take a look at the various results so far declared, beginning with Lagos is gone.
Yes, Lagos is gone.
Down and dusted by the Labour Party. But I'm still skeptical about that defeat.
Why would you say that?
Exactly, that's the question now.
Why are you still sure?
I pray it will not be a Greek gift. If you can see, the margin was so...
It wasn't really so much.
It wasn't, yes.
It's just about 10,000.
Then place it side by side with the winnings of PDP and APC in other states.
In other states, yes, exactly.
So, with two states like Osun, Kwara, they've nullified that victory.
Yes.
You understand? They've nullified that victory. And when maybe issue about I was shortchanged, do you get it? The issue of the Lagos argument may come up. If you can win in Lagos and they gave it to you, so why are you now so okay? You expected you expected to win in all the states. So those are just my fears, but let's keep praying. For now, I have no candidate in mind. We are just saying it the way it ought to be.
Yes, the way it ought to be.
Yeah, that's just the way the approach we are taking. In no distant time, we'll take you back to Abuja, but before then, let's look at other results. So, kindly take the result for Kwara, please.
Well, in Kwara State, the APC got a total vote.
No, the total, because there's need for us to compare the total registered votes, voters, together with the, place them side by side with the number of total voters, or those that voted on the day of the election.
Okay, the total number of registered voters is 1,695,922.
Okay.
And accredited voters, we have 97,000.
No, I think it should be okay.
975,000.
Okay. 019 votes
for the accredited voters.
Then looking at the three major contending parties, that's the APC, PDP, and the Labour Party.
For the APC, we have 263,572 votes, while the PDP got a total number of votes. The number of votes for PDP is 136,909.
Okay.
And for the Labour Party, 31,186.
So it means that the APC won Kwara.
APC won Kwara
with a staggering number of 263,572. Wow. What do you have to say about the margin?
The margin it's okay, it's normal, it's fair, it's not surprising.
Why I'm concerned is that the likes of Saraki was sleeping when this thing happened?
PDP got a total number of 136.
No, there till 2019, Saraki was like the political godfather of Kwara State. Do you get it? And yeah, though the governor is from APC. Do you get it? And the Minister for Information is equally from Kwara State. You understand? But that notwithstanding, going by commentary, the likes of Minister for Information, they are all paperweight politicians when it comes to Kwara State politics, going by what people are saying. And Saraki's family, Saraki's political dynasty has been in the game even before they thought of joining politics. I mean, Lai Mohammed. Lai Mohammed is more of a Lagos politician than someone practicing politics in Kwara State. He's of Kwara origin, but even as we speak, the son is a member of the Lagos State House of Assembly.
And he's from Kwara State.
He's from Kwara State. No, Lagos is the only state in Nigeria that is cosmopolitan in nature.
Okay.
Cosmopolitan in the state that it accommodates everybody. Even it's been speculated that the APC governorship candidate, a presidential candidate, is from Osun State, something like that. But be that as it may, the truth is that Lagos is so distinct that it accommodates everybody. Yes, there was a time, Atowori is from Delta. There was a time during Tinubu's leadership, he was the state attorney general, because Atowori is from maybe this Uruguazis or something like that. Then Ben Akabeze that I mentioned before was the commissioner. So Lagos, to some extent, accommodates people from, especially the vice president.
Yes.
The current vice president is from Ogun State, but he was the commissioner for justice in Lagos State for the past good 8 years, and a host of others. So I think other states has a lot of lessons to learn from Lagos. Yeah. So from Lagos, from Para we go to Osun State. Osun State is one troubled state, as in that politically they are always in a 50-50 arrangement.
Exactly.
It did not start now. In the year 1999, when democracy re-emerged on the political geography called Nigeria, BC Akande became the governor of Osun State on the platform of Alliance for Democracy, AD. Then he was there from 1999 to May 2003, before Obasanjo's instrumentality, as in political prowess, assisted PDP to get all of them booted out, all the AD governors except the Tinubu of Lagos. So immediately PDP took over. AD kept campaigning. By that time they have metamorphosized to ACN then. Each time the election is done, the gap is always like less than 2,000, 3,000, something of that nature. Even Oyetola in the last election defeated Adeleke with less than 1,000 votes for a whole governorship. So there is always a very tiny rope or tiny thread that separates failure from victory in Osun State. So I'm not surprised that it equally came out. Now we don't even know who will be the governor in a few days to come, now that the matter is in court. So let's but it wasn't a good showing for Labour Party.
No, it wasn't.
Do you have any reason to feel concerned for Labour Party, looking at Osun and Kwara?
Yes, it's a bit of concern.
Because success is a systemic thing. Likewise, failure. If you are looking at the margin, keep adding them together, you will know that it's not a good commentary for Labour Party. And from the publicity and support the Labour Party enjoyed all these months, I believe even if it's going to be defeated, he would have failed honorably with a very slim margin. But with the way it is going, I pray it will be reversed. But I can only pray.
As a praying country,
I can't
pray that it's been reversed.
Of course. Then we go to Ondo State. Let's take
the number of registered voters in Ondo State. 1,991,344. Number of accredited voters, 571,402.
Yes. Okay, then let's take APC, PDP, and Labour Party.
APC got 369,924. PDP 115,463, and the Labour Party 47,350.
Okay.
Wow.
Where do you think APC will get the votes to close this mess? I mean Labour Party will get the votes to close this mess. Or is it the beginning of the end of the entire...
We're open at the end. We're open at the end because...
No, whether we like it or not, Southeast has no voting strength. It's not a voting bloc. So And that's like the last hope of Labour Party, based on the fact that he's from there. Do you get it? We equally hope that maybe he'll be able to get some number of votes from maybe the northeast and the north central. Going by the number that flies around from Plateau, Benue and Co. Maybe all hope is not lost. INEC has warned that nobody should bank on any figure released from any quarter except the one. But now, even within INEC now, Dino is kicking, contesting even the one released by INEC itself. That's a sign for us to believe that there is no safe haven. You understand? What makes you stronger is the platform where you operate. There is a saying that there is no difference between a dragon and an earthworm. That if you remove the sky, the dragon becomes an earthworm. It's just that sky that gave the dragon the upper hand.
Yes.
The same thing. And don't be too sure. It may not be impossible to characterize as true that the results making round on the street and the social media platforms may be more authentic than what was submitted to INEC.
Because these results are being followed by the electorate.
Yeah, of course. Exactly. They were everywhere. It's not like raw result, raw material. Yeah, gotten from the source itself. Yes. So I don't know.
But what's I don't think there is any issue in because they're asking that Dino and Co are asking that they should upload
the original,
and then the one that is being announced. I don't think there's any big deal there. It's just a very simple matter. So I don't know why they're seeing it as a very big issue.
One of the major characteristics of public service in Nigeria is bureaucracy. At times you just create administrative bottleneck, let it just be that you are working. And apart from that, it's only in Nigeria that people make money in period of confusion and crisis. You understand? I'm not I'm speaking holistically now. You create confusion so that people become clueless, and in your effort to help them come out of their cluelessness, you make some. Exactly. If not, there is no reason why ministries ought not to have maybe a place like customer care or public enlightenment section where you can call and get all the needed information.
Yes, exactly.
But it's only that you walk into a ministry, you're on your own. You pay for every information. So I'm looking for so and so, please. Okay, I will escort you, or I will lead you, I will direct you, but you will do this, you will do that. It's everywhere. Ministries, agencies, and co. So back to the house, which is the main kernel of our conversation, the election, and
looking at this result, where is the hope of the PDP? Looking at these results that are
PDP is not, giving a poor show, You understand? Why if you ask me, I will tell you that it's not a very bad result for PDP in the southwest.
Okay.
Where Atiku is banking on, the PDP presidential candidate is banking on, is on the north. Yeah. So he's from there. He's like, gaining all these votes from the enemy's territory. You understand? So he's even trying. It's just like Obi. That was why I expressed that shock.
Okay.
Obi acted as someone that went into the lion's den. Not just went in, but the flesh the lion was eating, pick it and come out unhurt. So that's what is, for Lagos, where even Tinubu's foot soldiers would have been enough to, ensure that. But for him, it's a sign that we are growing. All hope is not lost. And that notwithstanding too, let me not use number but volume. Despite the fact that they are not liquid, if you know the volume of in Lagos, that may have equally informed that voting pattern. But I'm still feeling very concerned about that 1 million votes, 1 point something million. You know, it's ought to be far, far high. It's a sign that they demonstrated a high level of voters apathy. 5 point something million registered voters and less than 2 million voted. I don't think it's not a very good commentary. Well, that's Nigeria for you. One thing is that you can't go to their house to drive them to come and vote.
Exactly. Exactly.
And you know, secondly, that this is the country where all of us don't want to die. We want to live, yet we are not living, we only exist. But that notwithstanding, let's keep the hope alive. Now the southwest is almost done. Lagos, Osun, Ondo, Ekiti.
Kwara.
Kwara. So Kwara is central. Central. So it's only Oyo State that is left.
Okay.
Are you good at prediction? Making predictions?
I'm not. We only accept what we see.
What we see? Yeah, but no,
we're not good at predictions.
Oyo is equally a southwest state. By virtue of that fact, it may go the way of APC. But I'm not saying it expressly, because if Lagos could fall for Labour Party, it means anything can happen. And I saw the way the UI students were like jumping, you know, screaming Labour Party, Labour Party.
We may be shocked as well.
So
we may be surprised.
But it's not a one-way thing. Maybe when they get to Southeast, you may see APC good, you know, giving some good showings.
It's possible.
It's possible. It's very, very possible. Because let's take a state like Anambra now. There is Ngige Factor. Ngige is from Anambra State, the Minister of Labor and Productivity. And you know that this thing is like, it has a spring effect. If I'm there, I have my followers. If you drag me, I drag them. It works like, it's like inverted. No, it's like a pyramid. The leader is up there, the followers are the base. So once it gives instruction, it trickles down. So I think they will not disappoint, even if they disappoint APC in the East, they will not disgrace them. So
in what sense?
No, okay, let me give you an instance. Like what was Lagos a PDP score in Lagos?
The PDP score in Lagos was 775.
That was like a disgrace. It's not a disappointment. When you place it side by side with Labour Party and but there's no problem. When we get to the up north, PDP will definitely fight back.
We hope so.
Yeah, definitely we will fight back, you know.
But then again, you might be surprised, you might be shocked, but we hope so.
We are trying to minimize it, but we cannot stamp it out. And what is that? Ethnic considerations.
Yes.
Ethnic considerations.
That comes to play.
Yes. So this vote, even the Obi got in Lagos, was as a result of ethnic considerations. That one is certain. Though Lagos is a cosmopolitan state, like I keep saying, so we have some bunch of enlightened, you know, minds there. But up north, religion and ethnic considerations will come into play. That one is basic.
So we are saying that this all hope is getting lost for the Labour Party.
No. South is there.
Okay.
Here in Warri, you saw what happened.
Yes, exactly.
South and southeast.
Okay.
Understand that? His prayer I mean, the Labour Party's prayer should be that his vice presidential candidate will be able to pull some votes. You get it for it. It's a northerner. Okay. So let's keep our fingers crossed. But while we wait before INEC reconvenes, I must say that this electoral exercise is like the most balanced in recent history of this country. It's a tripartite arrangement. 3 frontliners from 3 major ethnic nationalities in the countries, like Wazobia. Look at it. Exactly. And they all, it's like that tripod. Igbo, Yoruba, Hausa. And this is like over time that this is happening now after a very long period. Closest to this was in 2007 when we had no, it wasn't even balanced, it was a straight thing. It was in 1999, you know, as part of effort to heal the political wounds in the country. The Yorubas felt so aggrieved that their son, in the person of MK Abiola, who presumably won the 1993 election, was denied of it, and to cap it all, he died in prison. But as a way of settling the Yorubas, they ceded. You know what governs Nigeria more or less is like a gentleman agreement. We will not write it down, but there is power rotation arrangement. So they ceded the presidency to the Southwest. Since you people lost your son, who could have been the president now. So that was the year that the 2 major political presidential contenders came from Yoruba land. So Yoruba contested against Yoruba. And something, dramatic or funny took place too. The Yoruba elite supported Chief Olufalaye, while people from other nations, other ethnic groups like the North, the East, supported Obasanjo. Wow. It was that bad that Obasanjo lost in front of his house, the polling unit in front of his house. But guess what? He won the national election. You got it? So Nigerian politics is so dynamic that you don't rely on your people alone. You must be a very good bridge builder for you to win, the presidential election in this country. Yes. It's not about my people support me. And that's what one surprise I'm expecting. Someone like Atiku is like a very good bridge builder. And you may be shocked that Southwest here and Southeast is going to, gain some votes. You understand? I'm not, saying it for sure, but looking at his antecedents and relationship in the time past with the people of that region, coupled with the fact that he once had a romance, political romance with Obi in 2019 was his, running mate, and other relationship. You know what is going on to that. Our dear governor, happens to be his running mate. So that will assist him make some inroad into the Southwest. Though there's a Okowa going by commentary is a very big albatross, with like a burden hanging on Atiku's neck. These are not my words, based on what is, out there. Lack of performance, it's coupled with Nissan Wike's factor. But if that notwithstanding, I see him, if he can win Delta, win Edo, then Akwa Ibom, he's campaign director general, the DG of the DG of Atiku Abubakar's campaign organization is from Akwa Ibom. That's the Governor Emmanuel Odom is the governor of Akwa Ibom. So, and the Director General of his campaign organization. So, it is my hope that he will deliver his state for Atiku. Atiku plus or minus may get 3 to 4 states out of the 6. How possible is going to be, because Obi factor is a very strong consideration now that people must not wish away. But by this time tomorrow it must have become clearer about who becomes what. It is not a bad idea, the journey so far. INEC, we are calling on you, looking at what people are saying, to, make efforts to address these people, the people's fears and their concern and the issues raised so far. So, Vani, let's talk about Delta State. What are you looking at? Who is going to win Delta?
Presidential or?
Yeah, presidential.
Well, from reports and it's a really
benchmark with the experience.
With the experience from Warri South, we saw how electorates were, insisting on casting their votes for Labour Party.
Yes.
With the delay of the INEC officials and materials, how they waited the whole day, still insisting that they would vote for the Labour Party. So from the Warriors House, we can tell that, okay, these people are going for
and
Labour Party.
The story is not even different from other parts of the state, like Anilta North, South, Oshimili, going by reports coming from those acts is a sign that equally, and that part of the state is even closer to Onitsha, where Obi is from.
Yes.
So that influence and the heat is high.
Yes, it could be true.
So it will be a very big disgrace if a vice presidential candidate fails to deliver, who happens to be a sitting governor, who fails to deliver his state. But one thing I know that is working against Okowa is that lately many people complained about his leadership style, but his media team they weren't proactive. Yes, yeah. As an individual, I supported that government for so long, very well, very, very well. But it became a troubling development when people when people raises concern and nobody is addressing such concerns. You understand? And at a point, I took time off to study most of those fears and their concerns, and they weren't lacking in merit. I did so many opinion articles published by The Guardian and co in that respect, and but they have a way of. I just pray, that the right thing is done, and even if it's not, it will be too late to make amends. It will be a very big lesson for the next governor coming in to lead the state. It will equally be a guide for him or her to know. I need to add her now because I was told that we have a female governorship contender.
Yes.
So if we keep insisting on it will sound as if we have passed. We have already, determine her fate, and that shouldn't be the way. So it's very important. But now, Edo is like having a complicated issue. Part of the election was postponed in Edo State.
Yes.
Yes. Going by what people are saying, that is an effort by the governor to resist the youth from voting the Labour Party, led to that.
With the way, or like we've been discussing, the way Nigerians are going, I don't think, even if you postpone this election,
they will still replicate what is on their mind.
Saying,
yes.
Well, let's postpone, or let's do this, or let's do that.
It's like postponing the evil day. It will still happen.
It will still happen, no matter what they do. Yes.
All we can encourage the youth is to be civil and organized in their push. Nobody can. There's a saying that you can that when the time is up, you cannot reverse it. So, you must do it in the most civil way. There is something very, very interesting that also occurred within this electioneering period, and that is the fact that from 2 p.m. on Saturday till now, nearly every, in fact, the social media was loaded with results from south-south, southeast, southwest, then part of north central. But the core north,
nothing.
Do you get it? They were blank. And that got me thinking, before now, in political science, there's something called the one north. No, they have a way of speaking in one voice. They don't believe in political divides. They may belong to the same different political parties, but when the chiefs are down, they have a way of uniting.
Yes,
so that's maybe that has come to play. They have a kind of resurrected that same spirit. With that now, nobody can even argue any result that is coming from the north, because there has not been a contrary result earlier published or stumbled at anyway. It's just, and it's equally a sign that academically we may prove to be, higher, but politically they are more matured. Do you believe in that?
I believe in that.
Politics is about, politics has nothing to do with education. It's about being smartly creative.
Yes.
It has nothing. What's his name? The late Adedibu, may he so rest in peace, held up Ibadan to ransom, but he couldn't speak, a clear sentence. He couldn't make a clear sentence. Yeah, but he has what it takes. And in Nigerian context, in advanced management, there is something called localization. That what it simply means is that you can draw a policy or a model, a business model abroad, bring it and get it adapted to what is obtainable here in Nigeria. It's global, but you bring it down to Nigeria, you localize it, so that's where that is a hybrid, a combination of two words, global/localization. That's the way we have localized democracy in Nigeria. Democracy is the government of the people, by the people, and for the people. But now, in Nigeria, what we have is, they call it, politicians describe this as homegrown democracy. Homegrown, you get it? Meaning that we have adapted it negatively to suit their personal and selfish interests. Why I'm saying it is that there was a time the then governor of Oyo State was impeached in the person of Ladoja. It was equally this man that ordered, the late Adedibu, that ordered for his impeachment. And so Ladoja was asked. He said that he did not, he wasn't surprised about what is happening, because that when he went to Adedibo to tell him that he wants to join politics, you get it? The Adedibo asked him, "You want to join politics?" He said yes. He said, "Okay, will you?" That there are some conditions you have to meet in order to, in order for him to know whether you are qualified or not. And I said, "Okay, but Papa, what is it?" He said, "One, will you be?" Adedibo now asked him, "Will you be able to tell lies and call witnesses?" You are the one lying, and you are the one calling witness. That's meaning that it's an organized lie. Yes. That was that. Then he said, second one, will you be able to remove your clothes and fight in public? So that is democracy, our own understanding of democracy or politics. But unfortunately, the people, like in the US, like the way I was asking the prof of yesterday, that was with us yesterday, we copied this democracy from the United States of America. But our own is, far, far different from what it used to be. Totally different. And I don't know, but something needs to be done to change the narrative. If not, the country is headed for a crash. First of all, the cost of governance in this country is so not just high, but astronomical. Is so high, or don't you think so?
I think so.
Where senators receive millions of naira, this. Why would they kill themselves in order to be there?
Not minding if
because that is more reason why somebody will use 100 million to buy just expression of interest form for to be the president, of which the salary is far, far below that amount he used. Because you know that once he gets there, you become so powerful to control so many things. Yes. Fight your enemies, and render. As a politician, you can kill somebody's business in this country by, churning out bad policies that will affect the person's business, placing embargo where you are not supposed to, do high tariff, this, that, you chase people out of business. And so there are so many reasons why so many politicians went into politics. And out of these reasons, service is the least. Is the least. Very, very. Even, let's talk about Delta. The lawmakers in the state, you can't even remember their names. There are some, when you discuss politics in this country, instead of you getting clarified, you get more confused. I have my reasons. Go to any school now, maybe primary school, ask the students ask the students to do what? To name great leaders. Do you know what they will tell you? Nnamdi Azikiwe. Nnamdi Azikiwe and Awolowo and Co. They mention those names as if nobody has led us after their time. It's a sign that the leaders that came after them failed the nation. That's what it simply means. It's very, very unfortunate. Now we are being joined in this conversation by one of our very own, a Niger Delta activist, peace advocate, and a nationalist. Is no other person than Chief Molade Sheriff. Chief Molade Sheriff is the country director of the Center for
Peace and Environmental Justice. Yes.
Chief, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. How are you?
We are doing very well, sir. And you, sir?
Well, great. That is fine. Great.
Yeah, here in the studio to anchor the program is Jerome Otomi, and with me is
Prebo Vanessa.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. On behalf of our CEO, Jacob Abba, we thank you for giving us this time to have these words and conversation with you out of your very tight schedule. Indeed, we appreciate. Thank you, sir. And
thank God.
We are excited that you are joining us. Now, having said this, Chief, the much anticipated presidential election has come and gone, but the intrigues remains. From your own observation, because you are a very major stakeholder in this political exercise, what do you have to say, sir? Can we hear your observations, sir?
Well, first and foremost, let me congratulate Nigerians for the long-awaited, anticipated 2023 general election, particularly the presidential and the national assemblies. It is also interesting to note that in our recent democracy, this is the first time that the major ethnic groups are featuring candidates from the north, where you popularly refer to the Hausa Fulani, represented by Alhaji Abubakar Atiku for the PDP, and Asiwaju Bola Tinubu from the west, from the Yoruba-speaking ethnic nationality, and Peter Obi from the east. So these are the three measures. And today, the election came in yesterday peacefully, and Nigeria turned out en masse to vote for their choice, irrespective of ethnicity, irrespective of religion, irrespective of region, irrespective of tribe.
Okay, Chief, just for us to make this conversation rewarding, we have another question arising from your opening remarks.
Okay, Chief, are you congratulating Nigerians despite series of complaints about the irregularities arising from the election?
Well, irregularities are bound to be experienced in any election. Even the democracy we practice from the United States, in their last elections, some perceived irregularities are still there. And in the case of Nigeria, yes, of course, you cannot rule it out 100%. But the outcome, the participation, shows that, yes, Nigerians are ready to go to the poll, and which we have done. So the irregularities, for me, cannot be 100% ruled out. But the most important thing is that the election were done peacefully, in line with the current Electoral Act. Now, the irregularities are to be readdressed, if any, at the appropriate authority.
Okay.
At the due time. So we will not begin to talk about the irregularity now, but we should be talking about the success of the election.
Okay.
Chief, so you think we've made progress?
Yes, we have made little progress. Even if it's not up to our expectation, we have made a little progress with the new beavers. With the new beavers, you can see from some units, as an electoral observer, who were in some locations, where the units have 700 and something, some have 500 and something. We could even get up to 100. No, if it was previous election, you will just see that people will just go and do massive thumb prints and bring out that 700, turn up the same 700, turn up the same 500. But in this case of beavers, most people couldn't do that because of the fear of overvoting. And you know, when you do overvoting, it automatically cancel or reject.
Sure, yes. But sir, just a minute, sir.
Sir, but the beavers failed in so many places, sir.
Yes, the beavers, just like when the card reader were introduced the last time. The card reader also have, Nigerians also have that anticipation, that expectation that the card reader will eliminate the beavers. The beavers were introduced as a better option to the card reader, and we adopted it. The politicians we have. So for speedy improvement of our electoral process is because the beavers have been able now. One of the challenges, the economic challenges, so many of them were disenfranchised because they couldn't find their way there. So the voting population, not because because of the beavers, but most of the political parties could not even sponsor.
You know, there is now something for them, because there was this experience where a man chartered a boat and took some people to the river, and when they got to that place, they voted for Labour Party, and in annoyance, he said that the boat should not take.
Because, well, of course, the Labour Party did not have, like as they will often say, they don't have a structure to carry people there or to mobilize people. But the desire for change, the yearning for change was extremely high in Nigeria. So when a provision were made by anybody, irrespective of party, and the people arrived, they decided to vote their conscience. Because we said vote for your conscience, vote your choice. So even if you have a boat, you provide a boat for me, or you provide a vehicle that took me to my polling unit, does not mean that I need to vote for you. That is what most of the electorate did. That is why you saw that Labour Party, even in the rural area, were winning at some polling units more than the ultimate parties.
Yes. Okay, sir. Chief.
Yeah.
Yeah, you may not be a direct contender, political contender, but you are a stakeholder in the state. The outcome of this election, looking at the voting pattern where people switched loyalty to Labour Party, isn't that a red card on the part of the ruling party in the state?
Well, I've said it before. Nigerians, including Delta, are yearning for change. And when you are yearning for change, the alternative become the choice. And at this point, in the presidential, Labour become the option. And that is what Nigerians have shown. Even whether Labour finally emerged or not, Nigerians have, the political parties, especially the ruling party, the APC and the PDP, have been told that, look, we are tired of your leadership. We are tired of your pattern of leadership. So if they eventually succeed, I believe they are going to correct themselves. If not, they know that one very close Nigeria, we're going to kick them away. But with what have happened to Labour Party we're going to work stronger. It's so unfortunate that in the other national assemblies, maybe they may have candidates, but the candidates were not too popular to attract winning position for them. But for the presidency, I believe they have done very well.
Yeah, Chief, thank you so much. Then, away from politics to Niger Delta, you have been at the forefront of Niger Delta development. But in this political dispensation, why is it that people like you did not use restructuring of the nation restructuring and resource control to bargain for political profit as visitors were coming? I mean the politicians who comes once in 4 years. There is this belief in some quarters that Niger Delta activists were so quiet this period. Is that assertion correct?
Well, when we talk about politics, it is what you have, you use in negotiating for your vision.
Yes.
Now, the Niger Deltans are blessed, are privy to use what they have, their resources, to negotiate. But unfortunately, as a result of stress, stress is not about for the region, neither for the ethnic, but more personal interest. So we find it very difficult to have a soft landing in our quest for when you ethnicity plays out, you see some sort of bias leadership plays out. So, but I believe from this yearning that Nigerians are yearning for, including debtors, and when we get it right, most of these things will be normal, will be okay for us as a people. So, I don't want to speak more about the development of Niger Delta, which top our agenda.
Yes.
So, but we are just waiting for the we have new leadership in it, and we are expecting a new leadership at the state level. So when we get it, I believe that those who we're going to be of the next leadership will be able to look inward and have a work plan. Because
hello?
Hello?
Hello, it's breaking, but yeah, go on.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, go on. Yes, it's fine. Yes.
Yeah, I said as a state and as a people, we lack some fundamental needs in our leadership. For example, as the state, particularly, let me make reference to Tesopadem, we're supposed to have a 3 years or a 5 years working plan for Tesopadem. Now, in that 5 years working plan, you will be able to see, which we can also refer to as a need assessment. A need assessment needs to be carried out in the Tesopadem communities, so that in the next 5 years, this is where Tesopadem is going. So you know what is entitled to your community. Not when a political commission of commissioners or board of directors will be appointed and they came on board, they will be dictated, directed by the governor, and they will be promoted by some political office. So that Tesopadem is for the communities. Tesopadem is not a political commission. But unfortunately, what we are experiencing in Delta, Tesopadem has become a commission used to compensate political supporters. And that is why Tesopadem has become a moribund.
Wow.
It lives, Tesopadem just exists on paper. It has nothing on ground. And that is no longer our expectation. So, and I believe that after this era, we are going to make sure we restructure the Tesopadem through the next government.
Hello?
Hello?
Yes, yeah, okay. Thank you so much. Thank you. We appreciate. Then we move on. I hope you still have time with us, because your intervention is very, very important, and I can assure you that our followers are enjoying what you are dishing out. So the next question for you, sir.
Sir, what should Deltans expect in the March 11th election?
Well, for Deltans, I think what we have done in this 25th February should replicate itself in the sense that we should come out en masse and go to our various location polling units and wards and vote peacefully, calmly, and monitor or protect your vote at that point. And after the declaration, you go back home and relax until INEC do the needful to tell us our new governor-elect and the House of Assembly members representing our various constituencies. So first, we need peace. And when we need peace in Delta, we need true peace, because the next leadership we're going to lead Delta to the promised land. I strongly believe that, because we have some competent and capable hands running for the leadership of the state.
Okay. All right, that's a very good one. But this is equally, the next question is as good as important as the previous one that you just attempted.
Okay, so sir, in your views, has Governor Okowa truly performed?
Well, for some of us, as social critics, development experts, and development advocates, we will say the governor has not performed to our expectation.
Okay.
His performance is below our expectation. When we put it side by side,
yes.
When we put it side by side with the available resources accrued to the state and the development of the state, the development cannot quantify it, cannot be used to judge the resources of the state. And that is why we said, in terms of development, we have not, the government has fallen short of our expectation. In other areas, maybe the government may have performed, and that is my personal opinion. In other areas, it may have performed when it can be adjudged to have been improved or increased in some area. But in terms of development, no. Now let me be practical when I talk about it. Recently, we have been unveiled to a lot of resources that have been accrued to Niger Delta State, including Delta, where some neighboring states have used their resources judiciously for the development of the state. Delta is a state blessed with the same natural resources, with the same resources accrued to us, but unfortunately, they were being mismanaged to some extent. And that is why if you travel to some of the riverine area where more of these resources are emanating from, are accrued from, because the lifespan of Delta economy lies in the oil and gas communities. And these oil and gas communities reside in the coastal area. But in this coastal area, there is nothing, virtually nothing to quantify their contribution. Over 70 to 80% of the state resources emanate from this end, but there is nothing. The only thing you can see that people can attribute to is some concrete walkways that were constructed or casted in those villages. And today people ascribe them as road. You know, sometimes I find it very unfortunate to say that where the state ascribed to our amiable governor, the road master, and when there is no motorable road in anywhere, including Warri and Asaba, but we refer to it as a road master. But where is the road? But I think it became very clear, and to the end of last year, I think that slogan were deliberately deleted because the state has woefully failed. The campaign for roadmaster were no longer used in anywhere. So before you can ascribe to yourself, I think you should be adjudged to be 101%. So if you want to ascribe to a governor who has performed extremely well in terms of road construction, you go to Port Harcourt, go to River State and see, go to Akwa Ibom and see. So we travel across the Niger Delta. These are the two states that are standing in the Niger Delta. The two outstanding states in terms of development, these are the two. But, well, of course, like as I said, very soon we'll be having a new administration. And we believe that the new administration will learn from the lapses of the outgoing government.
There is a very close question to this, sir.
Now looking at Ofe Omoagege's profile, can you say that he is capable of governing the states if elected?
Well, first, I don't discuss individual. I talk about
okay, let's go at party level. Let's go at APC level.
Well, when you talk about
now, looking at APC's manifesto this time around, will it be suitable for Deltans? If implemented,
whether APC manifesto
if implemented to the letter, will it be yes?
One thing we need to realize is that the manifestos draft and this is one thing we do.
Hello?
Hello, sir.
See, they don't hold it.
Okay.
And that is one of our greatest challenge. If not, the manifesto may be very, very robust, may be very okay, but the implementation of that manifesto becomes the issue. If not, when you look at their manifestos, all the parties have a brilliant, fantastic, robust manifestos. But the implementation of the manifesto becomes the issue when they emerge. So we don't want to talk about the parties, we don't want to talk about the individual. But what we want to believe, of course, the manifesto comes first, so we can hold them accountable to their manifesto.
Thank you, Chief. Still, we are still firing in all cylinders. You have been working tirelessly, to see the implementation of the Petroleum Industry Act. Chief, in a simple language, I ask, what exactly is the problem of that act?
Well, when you talk about the Petroleum Industry Act, the PIA, it has a lot of disadvantages to the communities, and it has a minimal advantage to the communities. Now, at the earlier stage, the initiation stage, where we were running around, we were focusing on 10%. From the 10%, the current government, because of the hatred for the oil-producing communities, decided to slant it to 3%, a very meager percentage for the people. What will 3% do for these people? When their environment has been bastardized, their ecosystem has been destroyed, their traditional occupation of fishing and farming has been dead, what will 3% do? Now, 3% of every IOC productions annual budget, 30% of the annual budget goes to NDDC. And what has NDDC do with those money? What have they done with the money to these host communities? Most of the host communities, NDDC doesn't know them, but they are claiming 3% of the host communities' resources to NDDC. And at the end, the resources in NDDC were used as compensation to compensate political supporters across the nation. NDDC is no longer a commission for the people of the South-South, neither a commission for the people of the Niger Delta, but it has become a commission on Nigeria. Now, we have similar sister commission in the Northeast, the Northeast Commission, Development Commission. There is nothing like Eastern, Western, Southern representative. It is a pure commission for the people. But in our case, it was elaborated to accommodate all participation. Now, when you talk about the PIA are similar. Because of these 3% allocated to host communities, don't be shocked, don't be surprised. And that is why you see the discovery of oil in most part of the country now, because all of them want to participate in the 3%.
Wow.
Whether they get oil or not, they will participate and they will benefit from the 3%. Nigerians should, in fact, particularly the Niger Delta, should be, that is why sometimes we raise the alarm and the consciousness of Nigerians that when you hear discovery of oil here, discovery here, it's because of the 3% that has been accrued to the host community through the PIA.
So it's more of political?
It's political, it is political.
Wow, this is serious. Now, you touched one important aspect, which I will equally like you to throw more light, sir. NDDC recently, the board of the NDDC was recently inaugurated. What are your expectations from that new board?
Well, of course, as a Niger Delta and as a stakeholder in the commission, as a community-based person, our expectation is high. The only good thing that has happened to NDDC in recent time is the forensic audit. And the forensic audit has pushed some of the contractors who have embezzled, siphoned the resources in the commission or the project that has been awarded to be executed for themselves. As last year, recently, came up by executing some of these projects. And that is why when you even go around Warri and Everett, you see some projects being hastily completed by the so-called contractor, fraudulent contractors in the commission earlier. Now, with this new board, we want to believe that they will look inward and dust that forensic audit and work on it, and also with the available resources, map out work plan that will develop the Niger Delta. We don't expect NDDC to be embarking on petty projects.
Okay.
We expect NDDC to embark on tangible projects, such as road construction, bridges, connecting the interland to the upland and all. This is what we expect for NDDC, and we expect the commission probably to cite some industries that will create employment for our youth. Because we cannot continue in this way, we can't continue in this manner as a nation. We need to progress, we need to move forward. We can't continue to be reading history about where in the 80s, Nigeria and Malaysia, Nigeria and India. So what happened to Nigeria? These countries have moved. Where are we? So Africa, Nigeria alone, Niger Delta alone, with what I sense, if NDDC genuinely, sincerely invest in a factory with using what I sent as a source for that factory, I can tell you the money that will be generated from that source alone can create source of employment, can sustain Niger Delta. What I sent as a source to sustain, it will help us, because from what I said, you can, all these furnitures we are importing from Dubai, from Germany, from this, they will be produced from what I said.
Wow.
Vaseline. Why are we wasting our time? We have all these things naturally in this area. So this is somewhere I think the NDDC need to focus on, to industrialize the region. Focus on this area. Then the NDDC should also be looking inward on how to synergize, collaborate with government agencies, where our government, state government, where the issues of environmental remediation should also be carefully and thoroughly looked inward into. Because today, when you see illegal bunkering, it was as a result of lack of jobs. When you hear of militancy, it's as a result of lack of opportunities for the youth. In the South, militancy become the source of employment. In the North, Boko Haram or farmers kidnapping becomes a source of employment. So, but when a country leadership has failed the youth, what do you expect the youth to do? They will resort to anything. And that is why it's part of a slogan that we have discovered, that the amount of violence you perpetrate in Nigeria will determine your level of recognition at the state and national level.
Wow.
So for us to come out of this, we need to industrialize our state, we need to industrialize our region, because we cannot continue to create partisan. What we have gathered in the South, especially Delta, Bayelsa Rivers, is partisan that have occupied the whole of these places. So immediately you come into Delta with anything, or you want to develop your property in Delta, you will see a lot of talks, a lot of tat disturbing you everywhere. The same thing applicable in Bayelsa and Rivers. I think go to Akwa Ibom, you see some serenities, some peacefulness in those areas when you are even developing, when you are even doing business. So Akwa Ibom become, Uyo in particular, become the source of tourism in this part of the South. And which is for us, Delta has a lot of potential places for us to attract a lot of investors. But if you want to organize a program where you are inviting international, the diplomatic communities, they will tell you if it's Port Harcourt or Uyo, they will. But when you put them in Edo State, Delta, they will say no. If it's Uyo, we can attend. And sometimes it doesn't tell good about my state.
Yes. Thank you so much, Chief. It's been so wonderful. But before you go, there are these two areas that I want us to touch briefly. First, as a development expert, are you happy that even after 24 years of unbroken democracy in this country, that the electoral process is still militarized?
Well, we are not happy, and we are not happy with it. But then, like as I said earlier in my speech, we are making progress. We are improving on it. It may be slow in our eyes, but the most important thing that we are making progress. If you compare our 1999, 2003, 2007, 2011 to 2015, 2019 to date, you will know that we have made tremendous progress. But then the progress is slow because of our politicians who feel that this is the only way they can impose themselves on the masses, on the people, on the citizenry as leaders. They are not, we don't have democratic leaders, but what we have today in the country is we have political rulers. And that is why we are still finding it difficult, but gradually we'll come out of it.
Thank you so much. And then the final question, sir.
Sir, election in the country is capital intensive. What can we do to reduce it?
Well, election in Nigeria is capital intensive because of the process, the way and manner we are conducting our election. If election is conducted like these beavers that were introduced, assuming maybe in the next election or maybe in the next two elections, if we can go into electronics voting completely from your, as you send SMS, so you vote your choice through your phone. I believe that these issues of spending hundreds of millions, billions of naira, and even in this election, because because of the redesign, the naira redesign, we result in using dollar to be buying votes, selling and vote. So, if we can improve to that stage, then we will conquer and overcome capital intensive election.
And that is how we are going to draw the curtains for today. Chief, on behalf of the management and staff of Gbaramatu Voice, we say a very big thank you to you for, you know, whenever you are with us, it's always very educative, informative, and entertaining. We again appreciate you. But like Oliver Twist of George Orwell, please do accept us when we come knocking in no distant time. You know, because this is a electioneering period. You know, and as an expert, your attention will be needed at intervals. So definitely, I can't tell you it's this evening, but definitely we are coming back to you for further conversation and intervention. But for now, we say a very big thank you, and do have, enjoy the rest of your day, sir.
Thank you, and God bless all of you over there.
Amen. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Yes. Yes, viewers, it's been a very, very, full-blown conversation between Gbaramatu Voice team and Chief Sheriff Muladi. Is a man of so many parts, so no need talking about him, because to talk about him is to, we take more time than the time we spend having the interview. Again, we say many thanks for being with us. We are going on a very short break now, and we'll be back in no distant time to continue with this conversation. Please do stay tuned.